Mr. Speaker and members, I'm going to move this, leave this to the will of the House. But let me just say this. The Supreme Court plays a role in this process. Right now, the Supreme Court are all Republicans. You think they're going to give these people a litmus test on religion? The First Amendment to the United States Constitution admonishes us about religion. And when you get ready to take the state bar, you can be a Buddhist, you could be an atheist, you could be a Jew or a Christian. We don't care. We care about the quality of people who are taking the bar and whether or not that they're going to render the quality of service to the people once they become a lawyer. That's what we're concerned about.
Mr. Garrett, for what purpose?
Will the representative yield?
I will.
And he yields.
Madam Chair, in essence what you're saying is this amendment that we're considering right now that you're going to leave to the will of the House, it doesn't do anything based on the oath we take right now and the oath that Representative Anchia spelled out for us. Is that not correct for lawyers?
That's correct, and nobody asks you what religion you are, because if you're atheist, we don't care. If you're agnostic, we don't care. If you're Buddhist, we don't care. If you are a non-denominational, we don't care. If you're Catholic, we don't care. Are you the quality of person that should be admitted to the bar once you pass?
And of course, we're all for amendments that want to make a bill better, and at least to most folks, one way or the other. But I'm failing to see what this actually does. This amendment, I'm trying to understand.
Well, I'm a little concerned. Why would you want to water down the First Amendment to the United States Constitution that gives us religious freedom with this kind of amendment? Why would you want to narrow the right that you have right now that has been enshrined in our United States Constitution?
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Speaker and members, I leave it to the will of the House, but at this particular time, the United States Constitution protects every citizen of this country the right to be free from a religious... Speaker?
Representative Israel, for what purpose?
A question for Chair Thompson.
Representative Thompson, do you yield?
I yield.
Ms. Thompson, did these gentlemen come to you today with this amendment, or has this been something that's been long time planning in how this bill was moving through the legislature?
They followed the rules of the House by pre-filing their amendments.
So 48 hours ago, by rules of the House, is when you first became aware of this amendment?
Representative Israel, they put a similar amendment on the pharmacy bill. But here's the distinction. The pharmacy has, with that amendment, has a right to refuse to fill a prescription that if it violates their religious belief, such as on contraceptives and the morning after pill. This has nothing to do with that particular area. What this has to do with is the fitness of a person to be an attorney and to be allowed to take the examination. You can be any religious you want to. You don't even have to have a religion. We don't care, because we recognize the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. And I'm going to leave it to the will of the House whether this amendment, as amended, would go on.
Chair recognizes Representative Leach to close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I appreciate you allowing me the opportunity to lay this amendment out on behalf of Representative Krause and Representative Thompson. I appreciate you and trying to work through this with us. Representative Thompson is right. She's correct in everything she just said, that the Board of Law Examiners, in determining whether a Texan should be admitted application to practice law in the state of Texas, they'll look at, of course, your bar exam results. They'll look at your criminal history. They'll do a number of background checks. They can also look at things that would allude to your character, your history. And what we want to ensure is exactly what Representative Thompson just said. And members, I want to reiterate what she just said, because that's what this amendment does. It's notwithstanding what your religion is, whether you're Buddhist, practice Islam, Judaism, Christianity, or whether you have no religion at all, is we want to ensure that notwithstanding or irrespective of what religion you practice or choose not to practice, that you can be admitted to the bar in Texas to practice law in this state. That constitutional right is protected under the First Amendment, and this amendment is essentially belts and suspenders looking forward, looking to the future, as we give our Board of Law Examiners the authority and the power to go about determining who is admitted to the practice of law in Texas to protect that constitutional right. That's what that is, and I would ask for you to vote in support of this amendment.
Representative Leach sends up an amendment. Question occurs in the adoption of the Leach amendment. It's a record vote. The clerk ring the bell. Have all members voted? Show Mr. Herrero voting no. Being 79 ayes and 66 nays, the amendment's adopted.